Welcome to the Building Materials Sales and Marketing Podcast, presented by Mark Mitchell, a sales and marketing consultant who specializes in helping building materials companies overcome difficult sales problems. Mark is the author of the book Building Materials Channel Marketing and a frequent speaker at industry events.
Hi, this is Mark Mitchell from Wizard Strategy. Today I've got a really special guest, Brad Rollo from GoFor Delivers. And I'm always looking for things in the building materials industry that are not on our radar screen, things that we aren't paying attention to. If it's working, there's other problems I have. So I'll just keep my eye where I've got problems. Maybe you have problems with labor today. Maybe you have problems with certainly materials availability. So one of the things I find that's not on people's minds is the concept of delivery. Like, if you're a distributor, you could have a pretty big fleet of delivery trucks with boom trucks or specialized trucks. If you're a lumber dealer or a flooring dealer, you can have delivery trucks, a fleet, whatever we want to call it, that gets the job done for you. And so you're kind of like, hey, well, no, we have delivery. We do delivery. We do as good as the guy down the street. And since I found out about, first met Brad and found out about GoFor Delivers, I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, maybe you shouldn't be looking at your competition as the guy down the street. Maybe your competition is people like Amazon, people like FedEx, and other people that are now setting a new standard. Because if you're at home, you're a builder, a contractor, and you're looking for job site deliveries, or a homeowner looking for a project delivery, your expectation is not what the other building material dealer's doing. Your expectation is like, well, if Amazon can do this, why can't my local dealer or distributor do this? And it's changing right before us, and you probably don't see it. So I'm always looking for those things that are not on our radar screens. And when I first heard about GoFor and met Brad, I thought, wow, he's got a great product, but an important message that the building materials industry should hear. And so, Brad, welcome to our little podcast today.
Well, thanks, Mark. Thanks for the invite. It's great to be here.
Brad, just give us, if you can, an overview of just what the heck GoFor is, and then specifically what that means to the building materials industry.
GoFor is a marketplace that connects contractors, those suppliers, distributors, and drivers, right? And what we do is we bring all three together, use technology to make it really, really easy to use, and to create cost efficiencies. So in other words, we can help get something from point A to point B in a quick and efficient manner, in a very cost-effective manner.
And when you say drivers, these drivers have trucks, right? It isn't like there was that missing part. I didn't hear that word trucks or vehicles.
We have all kinds of vehicles. So we do everything from small,
Yes.
that we got dragged into that. So small packages, it can be box and nails. When we see these truss plans go out all the time, somebody always loses a truss plan on a job site, missing hangers where you're putting on a floor package that day. And, if you're missing a hanger, that's a lost day, that sort of thing. And so we'll move everything from small right up to big and bulky. So we go small car, medium, sprinter van, cargo van, large box trucks. And then we get the specialty vehicles like flatbed moffats, flatbed booms, 5 tons with lift gates, kind of whatever the industry or the market needs, we will recruit, bring it to the system, and put it out there for availability.
Okay, great. No matter how big a fleet you have today, let's say you have 6 vehicles, it's never enough. On one day it's never enough, another day it's too much. And so to me, if you have a busy day, you're going to have to disappoint somebody. You're going to have to not be able to meet their needs. And so I find that, that this whole GoFor Deliver concept enables me to meet, not disappoint people.
Yes, I think that's the big key, right? Like we quickly learned that, the building industry, most have their fleets, right? Those fleets have a certain capacity every day. When that capacity gets reached, so if you have 4 trucks, you're doing probably 32 deliveries a day. It's probably kind of what you aim for, maybe more if you're lucky. But once you get to that 32 deliveries booked, you are now pushing that customer into the future. And we all know contractors, right? I used to be a contractor myself, and we can be kind of sometimes unorganized, let's just call it. And I need that delivery now. And when I call you and you're like, well, I can get it to you tomorrow, my answer is, well, let me get back to you on that. And what I'm really doing is I'm going to the rest of my list, calling to see who has availability on the vehicle right away. And so that's really potential lost revenue.
Not just lost revenue on that particular sale, but I think it's potentially lost repeat business. A customer that was loyal to you now says, wow, this company, I'd rather deal with this company, but their delivery is not as dependable as I need it to be. And so now I start to look and say, my secondary choices of a dealer or distributor to buy from has more consistent, I know they're going to absolutely positively get it to me. And so all of a sudden the business can go there. So I think it's potentially a really big potential loss.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think it's so important to provide a high level customer service, especially in construction, right? It's the one industry that really, really demands it from their suppliers, right? You have to be there to service that contractor because whatever, that time is lost money for everybody. Right? If a contractor takes too long to get it there, they can go shopping for it, right? They're losing money. The supplier's losing money because the contract went somewhere else, that sort of thing. So what we do is really, really help everybody in our kind of triangle make more money.
That's great. Make more money and just, to me, have a competitive advantage. Using delivery as a competitive advantage, if your competitors are counting on their own fleet management as ability to keep people happy, they're not going to be able to add capacity on a moment's notice when it's needed. So that's, to me, a real competitive advantage. Now, you've had a lot of success you started in Canada and you've had a lot of success there, and now you're really growing in the United States. Can you tell us about some of the feedback you've gotten from companies that are now using your services?
Yeah, so we've been doing this for close to 4 years. So we got a little bit of experience. We came out of the gates and you got that typical, I actually don't believe you can do what you say you can do. And so we spent a lot of years working on the tweaking of systems, what we're doing, all in Canada here before we expand to the US. And we've had great success, right? We've seen customers, from home hardwares use us to start to not have to add new fleets, right? Add new trucks. I always describe it as a step effect. You buy a truck, your volume catches up to a certain point and then starts going past that threshold of capacity of the truck, right? So then you decide that, I better get another truck. And it's just an unstopping, right? It just continues. As you grow your business, you get more and more successful, the more and more capital you have to spend on vehicles and the headaches. So we've kind of worked for a lot of companies to help them kind of maintain their current fleets, which they gives them comfort, right? They want that fleet there. But then we come in and fill their gaps, allow them to go over capacity so you don't have to say no to a customer or tell the customer to wait. And it's gone very, very well since that. Like we've covered the entire country of Canada from coast to coast. And now we're really making a big push now into 24 US cities, and we'll add another 31 this year.
That's fantastic. And so is the typical situation where if a dealer distributor was interested would be to talk with you and then you'd help ascertain their needs, and perhaps it starts out that you're supplementing their fleet? Is that the best way for somebody to approach you?
Yeah. We made it very, very easy, right? So first of all, there's no subscription fees. There's no fees up front, right? The website is built to be very, very simple to register and use, right? So you can now have a web portal. So anybody at an order desk can go to a computer. Anybody in the back can use an app, request these orders and put it together. It's completely frictionless. And like I say, you don't only pay us when you use us. So if you suddenly have an emergency, you want a 2-hour delivery, which is what we also do. So we provide that hotshot capabilities as well. You can just get online, sign up, and request it. Now, if this is something that, is more than a one-off and you want to have that consistency there, we suggest you reach out to us because we can actually tailor the delivery solutions to your business a little bit, right? We can make sure that we have 5 tons or flatbeds with moffins, that sort of thing around for you, for your use, right?
Yes.
And we like to work with that customer to understand their volume needs so we can make sure that we have the right capacity and we can be as predictable as possible.
That's another thing that I forgot to talk to you about that I at first thought about, okay, anybody can have a vehicle and a driver, but there's a understanding like what a job site is and how to get on a job site and how to where to deliver on the job site and how to deal with the people on the job site. Mm-hmm. And so talk a little bit about the experience and education of your drivers.
Yeah, so that's the one thing that really holds other companies like us, say, back from the construction is that there's a lot of little nuances, to a delivery on a construction site. First of all, you can't have people showing up in shorts and flip-flops, right? Like they got to be in work gear, right? So all our drivers have to wear their PPE every day, from vests to hard hats to steel-toed boots to the right clothing. And what we do is when we go out and recruit these drivers, and the great thing about working with a driver who has a cargo van, box truck, flatbed Moffett, is that this is what they do to generate their livelihood, right? This is their income. This is their job. And so they're very professional already from the start, but we want to make sure they maintain a high level of customer service and safety. And so we actually run them through a training program. It's all, obviously with COVID, is very, very virtual right now, but we also have people in market spot checking the drivers. And what we want to do is make sure they get clean vehicles, that they're wearing their gear, but also that they're happy, right? We want to make sure that our drivers have a high level of happiness, because if they're happy, right, they've got the right tools to do their job. That means both the supplier, the distributor, is going to be happy with our service, and it's most importantly that end customer, because the contractor wants that delivery to go really, really well, and they don't want a grumpy guy showing up to the job site, and they especially don't want somebody who's showing up that's not ready to do work on a construction site.
Yeah. Well, that's great, because that's, a big headache for, well, at least, I think in North America is just finding labor. I mean, even if I had a truck, finding a driver that knows what they're doing, or I can train, that's going to show up, that's going to pass a drug test. And, I need counter people. Maybe I need warehouse people. I need lots of different people. And it's tough today to find, good employees. And so that's another thing that it sounds like you've these employees, or these people, if I'm correct, they own a truck, so they have some skin in the game, and that you figured out a way to, let's say, make them like working with you. That takes another load off of the dealer distributors' shoulders of, they get back to doing what they do best, which probably isn't like, buying and leasing trucks or maintaining trucks and buying and hiring and drivers.
Yeah. So, with us, we bring that full managed. We bring the vehicle and we bring the full management, and we make it really easy on you, right? I don't think, I've never met a dealer who really they started off. I have a dealer friend in Ottawa, and he talks about when he first took over the business from his dad, and how he wanted to have this beautiful fleet of trucks, right? All these flatbed Moffetts, flatbed booms. He wanted this truck. And as he got used to the business, he doesn't even like looking at them anymore, because he starts to understand the real numbers behind it, right? Like, we make this efficient because our drivers will do a delivery, do the drop, then pick up really close, go to the next place, right? So they have very, very few empty miles. But dealers, just the national business, is their trucks are full 50% of the time at most, right? The truck goes out full one way, comes back completely empty the other way. And that's, if you start to do the cost analysis around that, you will see how much money you really should be charging per delivery. And we all know the construction industry, right? The construction industry has very set levels in everybody's mind. Every contractor knows what he wants to pay for delivery, right? He knows he wants that flatbed Moffett, and he wants it for 80. He may see some dealers he has to settle with who gets it for 120, but he knows he's never paying 240. And that the 240 number is really the number that probably should be charged for that delivery. And so we come in there and help you actually, our contractors or our suppliers and distributors who use us can actually make money on delivery or break even.
Yes, nice. The other thing to me is, you work with a number of not just independent dealers and distributors, but some major brands in building materials, be they big boxes or dealers or distributors. I know those people are, they don't put up with poor performance. You either deliver or see ya. That was a nice idea. Goodbye. So it seems like, if you speak a little bit about your track record there, that I was really impressed with your customer list. And, by my experience with these companies, like you either are an A+ performer or you're gone. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we know that this customer service, high level of quality on the delivery is really, really important. Predictability in construction is really important, right? If you're expecting that truck at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, really you've set your crews up to be there for a certain time and to get the material and get productive right away. If they're standing around, you're losing money, right? So we built everything and proven that we can do that time frame. So we carry a 98% success rate on getting everything to a job site within 3 hours. We're in the 90 percentile of getting it there within 2 hours, and we're pushing that very quickly up to the 90% as well. Our drivers will carry a 4.8 NPS, so that's a 5-star rating, that typical Uber rating. They carry over a 4.8 on that. So in other words, they're delivering high quality service that customers really like, and they rate that driver very highly. Our drivers are also actually rated by the supplier distributor as well. Okay, so you get to have your say in that. And so what we've seen is that more and more of our customers are coming to us and say, listen, I'm not going to buy this truck, but I need to know you have the capacity for this, right? I need to know you got a flatbed Moffett. Yeah, we can do it. How many times a day do you need it? Okay, you're projecting 4. Okay, great. We start to figure that out and then put it in place to work. And so we've seen people stop buying trucks and start to outsource more of their delivery to us just to fill the gaps, right? Save those capital costs. And then we've seen actually other distributors come to us and say, you know what, I got 5 trucks. I love what you're doing. I see the red lines go black, which is making me very happy. I want you to help me get rid of my vehicles, right?
Wow.
I got 4 trucks. Can you push them to your network and see anybody pick them up? And so we're actually building that capability very slowly on helping those who want to go to a pure outsource model, which is a very efficient model, get rid of the vehicles they have. And so we can bring the leases into our drivers because they're always looking for new vehicles and the right vehicles to make more money. And they're also entrepreneurs themselves. So they want to go from 1 vehicle to 2 vehicles to 5 vehicles. And we're built a business to help them do that as well.
Wow. That's really amazing what you've accomplished just in 4 years. But
Thanks.
It just shows, I think, in the building materials industry, we're used to things change very slowly. That's how my grandfather built the house. He built great houses. I built great houses, and this is how we do things. But we're, not only because of COVID, just because of changing construction practices and the demand for improved productivity, reducing waste and efficiency is just going throughout the industry. Today's world, it's a little, shocking to say, wait, 4 years ago you started and now you're this, but we look at that's just what's happening with what technology enables us to do today.
Yeah, very much. I was one of those guys. I ran a construction company for 10 years.
Yeah.
And you get into a fold where this is the way I've always done it. And this has always worked for me.
Right.
Then you kind of start to look at it and go, wait a sec, there is a better way to do it. It doesn't mean crazy technology changes. It doesn't, all you have to do is put a little bit of trust in us, and I guarantee you will return that. And you're going to get this added value of being able to break even or make money on delivery and have a very, very happy end customer because the product got to the job site that much quicker.
Yes.
And for the contractor too, it goes both ways, right? How many times does a supplier see that contractor walk through that door or see somebody from his job site and, it's not the laborer who shows up from the job site. It's the lead carpenter because he's so tired of sending the laborer who gets all the wrong things. And he decides he wants to break and he wants to go. And suddenly, you've got a $30 an hour carpenter who leads the entire job site, spending 2 hours getting supplies.
Or on the other side, you're the dealer distributor and you have no vehicles. So you have one of your better salespeople say, I'll do it, hop in the car and take this out, which is great from an attitude and all that kind of stuff, but is that really the best use of that salesperson's time? Is it helping out one contractor for one little thing? A contractor will certainly appreciate that, but wouldn't he be better served if he was out getting you more contractors as opposed to, doing a hotshot delivery?
Yeah, we see that as well. Salespeople are typically hired to expand the business,
right?
Not maintain the business. And I've seen it all over the place. So they love it, and they should have the customer touches, right? They should see the customer. But to bring in a box of nails or some 2x4s is great once in a while, but it's keeping away from what their primary job is.
Yes.
Right. Whereas you can get the same level of service and actually and heighten it by using us to do it. And when that salesperson focus on bringing new business, that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. Hey, well, this has been great, Brad. I really appreciate you helping me to explain to the building materials industry, my followers and listeners and readers, just what the heck GoFor is and just what the heck the idea of outsourcing delivery. And the other thing I think about is I was talking to a builder a couple of weeks ago, and he said, Mark, back in the 1950s, on the job site, the carpenter made your windows. On the job site, the carpenter made your kitchen cabinets. And so we think about today, why would you make windows on the job site? Why would you make the kitchen cabinets on the job site? And we just think about how many things now that we outsource to experts,
very, very much,
and how that's a changing thing. And so I highly encourage, if you're in the building materials industry and delivery is an important part of what you're doing, if you're certainly a dealer or distributor, to take a look at this. And then if you're a manufacturer and you're seeing that maybe delivery is a problem for you, maybe the distributor you sell to, isn't doing as good a job on delivery and that's costing you some business, then perhaps you can introduce your distributor or dealers to a better way of delivering, perhaps. So, Brad, what's the best way for someone to get in touch with if they want to learn more about GoFor? Is it just to go to the website, or what should they do?
Yes, the website's perfect, www, although you don't have to enter that anymore, GoForDelivers.com.
Yeah.
You can also reach out to me at brad.rollo, ROLLO, at GoForDelivers.com. And I do believe if you do visit your site, you can actually dial into our 1-800 number and talk to a customer service rep as well.
Excellent. And in a lot of markets, like you said, you have people in the market.
Yes, we're in over 24 U.S. markets right now, putting us pretty close to 100 markets in North America.
Yes.
So chances are there is somebody in market you can actually talk to too. So we have operational staff as well as sales staff.
Yes.
In all the markets we're in. And so you get that, you as a distributor, supplier, you actually get that hands-on touch from a account rep, and that will make sure you're happy as well.
Yes. Okay. Well, great. Well, this is thank you for giving us some of your valuable time to help us understand more about this concept of what GoFor Delivers can do for people in the building materials industry.
Perfect. Well, thanks for the invite, Mark. It was great talking to you.
All right. You have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, everybody. And we'll see you at the next episode next week.
Thank you for listening to this podcast from Mark Mitchell on building materials, sales, and marketing. We hope he gave you some fresh perspectives on how to grow your sales, and will listen to future episodes.